Have you ever wondered if someone secretly has a crush on you? Maybe there's that one person who seems to act a little differently around you, but you just can't put your finger on why. Attraction is one of the most subtle yet powerful emotions, and people often express it in ways they may not even realize. These hidden clues, grounded in psychology, can reveal the feelings someone is trying to conceal. Psychological research tells us that human behavior, especially when influenced by emotions like love or attraction, operates on both a conscious and unconscious level. While someone might not explicitly tell you that they're interested, their actions and body language often speak louder than words. By understanding these subtle signs, you can gain insights into someone's true feelings without needing them to confess. So, why is it important to decode these signals? For starters, it can help you navigate your relationships with more clarity and confidence. Whether it's a coworker who lingers around your desk, a friend who seems to have become unusually attentive, or even a stranger at a coffee shop whose gaze lingers a little longer, recognizing these signs can transform uncertainty into understanding. In today's video, we'll explore 7 psychological signs that someone has a crush on you. Each of these signs is backed by behavioral studies and psychological principles, providing you with actionable knowledge. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what these signs are, but also why they happen and how to identify them in your interactions. So grab your notebook, or just sit back, and let's dive into the fascinating world of human psychology and hidden emotions. Body language is one of the most telling indicators when someone has a crush on you. Without even realizing it, people unconsciously reveal their feelings through the way they move, position themselves, and interact physically. In psychology, this is known as nonverbal communication, and it often speaks louder than words. So, what does body language look like when someone is attracted to you? Let's break it down into a few subtle, observable signs. Have you ever noticed someone adopting your gestures, postures, or even the way you speak? This is called mirroring, and it's a common psychological phenomenon. When someone is attracted to you, their subconscious mind wants to create a sense of connection, and one way to do that is by mimicking your actions. For example, if you cross your legs during a conversation, they might do the same moments later. Or if you lean forward while talking, they might unconsciously mirror that posture. This behavior shows that their brain is attempting to synchronize with yours, creating a subtle bond. People are naturally drawn to those they like, and this often shows up in how close they choose to sit or stand. If someone frequently finds reasons to be near you, whether it's leaning closer during a conversation, sitting next to you in group settings, or standing in your personal space, it's a strong indication they're attracted to you. Psychological studies suggest that physical proximity increases feelings of intimacy and connection. When someone has a crush on you, they'll subconsciously want to be in your bubble, even if they don't realize it. Eyes are often called the windows to the soul, and for good reason. When someone has a crush on you, they'll likely maintain longer than usual eye contact. This doesn't mean staring continuously, as that might feel awkward, but they'll naturally look at you more often than at others in the room. Interestingly, psychological research has shown that sustained eye contact can increase feelings of attraction between two people. When someone gazes into your eyes, their brain releases oxytocin, also known as the bonding hormone. It's their way of saying, "I'm interested," even if their words don't say it directly. Pay attention to their posture when they're around you. Someone who is attracted to you will often exhibit open body language. This might include uncrossed arms, signaling that they're receptive to interaction, leaning slightly toward you during conversations, positioning their feet or torso to face you, even in group settings. These cues indicate that they are emotionally and physically open to connecting with you. On the other hand, crossed arms or turned-away body language might suggest disinterest or discomfort. Why does body language reveal so much about attraction? The answer lies in our evolutionary past. Long before humans developed spoken language, we relied on nonverbal cues to communicate emotions and intentions. Even today, our subconscious mind continues to use these cues to express feelings that we might not want, or know how, to say aloud. For someone with a crush, these behaviors are automatic. They don't plan to mirror your movements or lean closer. It just happens because their brain associates being near you with feelings of happiness and reward. If you're wondering whether someone has a crush on you, try observing their behavior in various situations. Do they consistently mirror your gestures, maintain eye contact, or gravitate toward you in a crowded room? These patterns, when seen repeatedly, are strong indicators of attraction. However, it's important to consider the context. Some people might naturally be touchy or engaging due to their personality, so look for a combination of these signs rather than relying on just one. Smiling is one of the most universal ways we communicate positive emotions. It's contagious, uplifting, and, when it comes to attraction, a subtle yet powerful indicator of interest. According to psychology, a smile isn't just a simple facial expression. It's a window into someone's feelings, often revealing emotions they may not be ready to voice. When someone has a crush on you, their brain lights up with feelings of excitement and happiness when they're around you. These emotions often manifest through a natural, uncontainable smile. It's not the polite kind of smile you'd offer a stranger. It's a genuine, heartfelt grin that's hard to miss. Psychologists refer to this as a Duchenne smile, which involves both the muscles around the mouth and the eyes. Unlike a forced smile, a Duchenne smile is almost impossible to fake because it's driven by genuine emotions. So, when you catch someone smiling at you with their eyes sparkling, it might just be a sign they're attracted to you. When someone has a crush, their nervous system kicks into high gear. This nervous energy often leads to excessive smiling or laughing, even when the situation doesn't necessarily call for it. Think of it as their body's way of trying to diffuse the tension they feel in your presence. For example, if you tell a mediocre joke and they burst out laughing, it's likely not about the joke, it's about you. Their laughter and smiles are driven by a desire to connect, even if they don't realize it. Psychological studies on flirting reveal that smiling is one of the most consistent and effective ways people signal interest. Nervous smiling is often paired with other behaviors, like fidgeting, avoiding direct eye contact, or even stumbling over their words. These actions stem from a mix of excitement and anxiety, which often accompany romantic attraction. Smiling isn't just a reaction. It's also a tool people use to make themselves more appealing. A genuine smile can make someone seem warmer, friendlier, and more approachable. This is why people with crushes often smile excessively. They want to convey that they're happy around you and create a positive atmosphere in your interactions. Interestingly, research shows that smiling activates the brain's reward system, releasing feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. When someone smiles at you, it's not just about attraction. They're also experiencing joy, which makes the act of smiling itself rewarding. Imagine you're having a casual conversation with someone, and they can't stop smiling, even when the topic isn't particularly funny or exciting. They might be smiling out of sheer joy at being around you or because they're nervous about saying the right thing. Have you ever noticed someone's face light up the moment you enter a room? That instantaneous smile is a strong indicator of attraction. It's their body's automatic response to seeing someone they like, and it often happens before they even realize it. Playful teasing is a common way people flirt, and it's often accompanied by lots of smiling and laughing. If someone teases you gently and then flashes a big grin, it's a sign they're trying to create a playful connection. People with crushes often find themselves smiling nervously during awkward moments, like when they accidentally bump into you or say something silly. Their smile acts as a way to cover up their embarrassment and maintain a positive interaction. Smiling is a universal signal of warmth and positivity, making it an essential component of human bonding. In the context of attraction, it serves a dual purpose, expressing emotions and building rapport. Someone who smiles excessively around you is likely trying to strengthen their connection with you, even if they're not fully aware of it. From a psychological standpoint, this behavior is rooted in our evolutionary need to form social bonds. Smiling helps create trust and mutual understanding, which are critical in romantic relationships. Not all smiles indicate a crush. Some people are naturally cheerful and smile frequently. To distinguish a crush smile from a friendly one, look for accompanying behaviors, such as nervous laughter, fidgeting, or prolonged eye contact. These additional cues provide context and make it easier to interpret their feelings. In the next section, We'll explore how subtle acts of kindness can reveal someone's hidden affection for you. When someone has a crush on you, their feelings often manifest through small yet meaningful acts of kindness. These gestures might seem simple on the surface, but they're often loaded with intent. In psychology, such actions are tied to our natural inclination to care for and support those we feel connected to. People with crushes often go out of their way to be helpful, attentive, or considerate. Let's explore how these subtle acts of kindness reveal attraction and why they're so telling. One of the clearest signs of a crush is when someone actively looks for ways to make your life easier or more enjoyable. These acts are rarely grand gestures. They're the little things that show they're paying attention to your needs. Examples include: they notice when you're out of coffee and bring you a fresh cup before you even ask. Whether it's fixing a small issue for you, carrying something heavy, or assisting with a task, their actions show they're thinking about your comfort. They might go out of their way to pick you up when your car breaks down or lend you something you need without hesitation. These behaviors indicate they're invested in your happiness, which is a hallmark of romantic interest. So, why do people act so selflessly when they have a crush? The answer lies in human psychology and evolution. When we like someone, we naturally want them to see us in a positive light. Acts of kindness are a way to showcase our reliability, thoughtfulness, and ability to care for others. This is particularly true in romantic contexts, where these traits are often seen as attractive qualities. Helping someone we like activates the brain's reward system, releasing feel-good chemicals like dopamine. Essentially, being kind to you makes them feel happy, which reinforces their behavior. Psychology suggests that when someone does something kind for us, we're more likely to feel a sense of connection and want to reciprocate. People with crushes subconsciously leverage this principle to strengthen their bond with the person they admire. They remember small things about you, like your favorite coffee order, a specific snack you enjoy, or a problem you mentioned in passing. The next time they see you, they might surprise you with something tailored to your preferences. Maybe they go out of their way to fix a minor issue for you, like troubleshooting your computer or assembling furniture. They're not doing it for recognition. They genuinely want to make your day easier. They might exhibit protective behaviors, like offering their jacket when you're cold or making sure you get home safely. These actions show they're not only attentive but also care deeply about your well-being. Time is one of the most valuable things someone can give, and a person with a crush will often prioritize you over their own schedule. Whether it's helping you move, listening to your problems, or simply being available when you need them, their willingness to invest time is a significant sign. Some people are naturally kind and helpful, so how can you tell if these acts are rooted in romantic interest? Look for patterns and consistency. A person with a crush will often exhibit these behaviors specifically toward you, and their kindness will stand out compared to how they treat others. For example, they go above and beyond for you in ways they don't for others. They consistently look for opportunities to help or support you. They seem genuinely happy when you appreciate their efforts and might even blush or smile nervously. What makes these acts so powerful is their subtlety. Unlike more overt signs of attraction, these behaviors often fly under the radar, making them all the more meaningful when you recognize them. Someone who goes out of their way to be kind to you without expecting anything in return is likely harboring deeper feelings. Their actions speak volumes about their admiration and desire to make a positive impression. When someone has a crush, they often seek ways to stay connected with the object of their affection. This connection manifests through frequent communication, be it through texts, calls, or in-person interactions. The effort to sustain conversations and gain your attention stems from a deep-seated desire to feel close and build rapport. A common way people express interest is through consistent and thoughtful communication. If someone has a crush, you might notice their texting and calling habits differ significantly compared to others. They often initiate texts or calls, especially when they don't have a specific reason to. A simple "How was your day?" or "I just saw something that reminded me of you" can indicate they're thinking about you. They reply to your messages quickly, even during busy times. This eagerness to stay engaged in the conversation is a subtle but strong sign of attraction. They make an effort to keep the conversation going by asking open-ended questions or sharing personal stories. This shows they want to deepen their connection with you. You might notice they often check in with you throughout the day, asking how you're doing or if you need anything. This constant communication signals they're prioritizing you. Psychology explains that people with crushes seek emotional intimacy. Increased communication provides them with a sense of closeness, even if it's just through digital interactions. The fear of losing your attention or falling out of your favor motivates them to keep the lines of communication open. This behavior is often subconscious and tied to their emotional investment in you. Every time they interact with you, their brain releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. This creates a cycle where they crave more interactions to experience the same emotional high. Positive responses from you reinforce their behavior. When you reply or engage with them, it validates their feelings and encourages them to continue communicating. While increased communication is a hallmark of attraction, some people may overdo it. Here are signs that someone is over-communicating due to a crush. They might send multiple texts in a row if you don't respond immediately, or they may share every little detail of their day without much prompting. They might ask follow-up questions about your replies, seeking deeper meaning in your words, or show concern if your tone seems off. Even minor or unnecessary topics become reasons to call you. For example, they might call to ask about a recommendation you made weeks ago or to share something trivial. They could appear overly attentive, frequently asking if you're okay or if you need anything, even when it's not necessary. You might notice they always send you a good morning or good night message, signaling they're thinking about you at the start and end of their day. They frequently comment on your social media posts or reply to your stories, using them as opportunities to start conversations. They might bring up topics you're passionate about to keep the conversation engaging and show they're interested in your world. You might notice they send you memes or jokes, using humor as a way to maintain a light-hearted yet meaningful connection. While increased communication is a strong indicator of romantic interest, it's important to consider context. Some people are naturally communicative, while others might misinterpret friendliness as romantic interest. To discern a crush, look for signs of intentionality and exclusivity. Do they communicate with you differently than with others? Is their effort to connect consistent and focused on building a deeper relationship? Physical touch is one of the most universal ways humans communicate affection. While overt displays of touch can be obvious, subtler forms of physical contact are often overlooked. For someone harboring a crush, these touches are rarely accidental. They're intentional gestures aimed at fostering intimacy. This section explores how light touches, proximity, and cultural nuances reveal a crush and why psychology supports these behaviors as markers of attraction. A person with a crush may attempt to bridge the physical gap between you and them. These subtle actions are often unconscious but highly revealing. You might notice them brushing their hand against yours or lightly tapping your arm during a conversation. These touches feel natural yet purposeful. A gentle pat on the shoulder or a light touch on your arm during laughter can signal their desire to connect on a deeper level. If they hold on to your hand a second longer than necessary or find excuses for physical contact, it's a sign they're trying to prolong the connection. They might stand or sit closer to you than they do with others, often leaning in when speaking to you or positioning themselves in your personal space. Psychology explains that physical touch serves as a powerful tool for building bonds and expressing emotions. Known as the love hormone, oxytocin is released during physical contact, fostering feelings of trust and closeness. A person with a crush may subconsciously seek opportunities to generate this emotional bond. Touch conveys what words often cannot. It's a direct way to express care, affection, and attraction without risking verbal rejection. Unlike accidental bumps, intentional touches are targeted and meaningful. They might touch your shoulder during a serious conversation or place their hand on your back to guide you through a crowd. A person may touch you lightly to gauge your reaction. If you're receptive, they might feel encouraged to continue. If not, they may pull back to avoid discomfort. Physical touch as a sign of attraction can vary widely depending on cultural norms and societal expectations. In countries like Italy, Spain, or Brazil, physical touch is more common and accepted in daily interactions. A subtle touch in these cultures may not necessarily indicate a crush but could simply reflect friendliness. In cultures like Japan or Scandinavia, physical touch is reserved for close relationships. A light touch in these societies may carry more weight and be a stronger sign of romantic interest. Even within cultures, individual differences and upbringing play a role. Someone raised in a conservative household might use physical touch sparingly, making their actions even more significant. Cultural awareness is crucial in interpreting touch. What may seem like an affectionate gesture in one culture could be inappropriate or misunderstood in another. They might place a hand on your back when navigating through a crowded room or lightly touch your hand when handing you something. They may accidentally bump into you, especially in playful or relaxed settings. These accidents are often deliberate attempts to initiate contact. They might brush a strand of hair off your face or adjust your collar under the guise of being helpful, subtly establishing a deeper connection. Pay attention to how close they stand when speaking to you. A consistent lack of personal space can be a strong indicator of their interest. Interpreting physical touch requires attention to context and consistency. Is their touch accompanied by other signs of attraction, like smiling or prolonged eye contact? Do they touch others similarly, or is their behavior unique to you? By observing patterns in their actions, you can distinguish between general friendliness and romantic interest. One of the clearest signs of a crush is when someone starts to mirror or engage with your passions. Whether it's your favorite book, movie, or hobby, their curiosity about your interests often serves as a subtle way to deepen your connection. This behavior stems from the human desire to build rapport through shared experiences and compatibility. When someone has a crush, they are naturally inclined to understand the world through your lens. They want to learn about your likes, dislikes, and what makes you happy. Some ways this might manifest include: they may express sudden enthusiasm for activities they previously showed little interest in, like taking up hiking because you love it. People with a crush will often remember small details about your preferences, like your favorite coffee order or a movie you mentioned in passing. They may frequently inquire about your interests, such as, "What's your favorite song right now?" or "How did you get into painting?" If they join you for an event or activity you enjoy, it could be a sign they're trying to spend more time with you and understand your passions better. From a psychological perspective, showing interest in someone's hobbies is a strategy to foster connection and establish common ground. Shared interests create an emotional bond, making both people feel closer and more understood. This is especially crucial in the early stages of attraction. Humans are wired to reciprocate positive behavior. When someone shows interest in your life, it's natural to feel more inclined toward them, fulfilling their desire for connection. By exploring your interests, they subconsciously evaluate how well their passions align with yours. Compatibility is a significant factor in attraction, and shared activities make relationships more rewarding. When someone loves what you love, it validates your personality and choices. A person with a crush often seeks to align themselves with what makes you happy as a way to win your approval. Here are specific examples of how someone with a crush may show interest in your interests. If you love cooking, they might send you recipes or discuss the latest food trends, even if they're not a foodie themselves. If they accompany you to a concert of your favorite band, even if it's not their taste, it's a clear sign they value your happiness. They might pick up a habit like reading the same genre of books or watching your favorite TV shows to have more in common with you. For example, they might say, "I heard about this art exhibition you might like. Want to check it out together?" They might cheer you on, whether it's by attending your soccer game or celebrating your creative endeavors like photography or writing. Not all interest signals a crush. Some people are naturally curious and friendly. However, certain patterns can help you identify romantic intent. If they consistently bring up your interests or participate in activities you enjoy, it might indicate a crush. Do they focus on your passions more than those of other friends? If so, this shows a deeper level of attention. Notice their enthusiasm when talking about your hobbies. A person with a crush often displays genuine excitement about the things you love. By taking an interest in your passions, they're not only trying to connect with you but also hoping to reveal more of their own personality. This behavior is often an invitation to reciprocate interest, setting the foundation for a closer emotional bond. When someone has a crush, their feelings of attraction can sometimes manifest as jealousy or a desire to protect you. These emotions, although subtle, often surface when they perceive a threat to their connection with you. Whether it's another person competing for your attention or an external situation that might cause you distress, jealousy isn't always loud or overt. It often hides in small gestures and subtle actions. Here are some common signs to watch for. They may become defensive or critical when you mention other people, particularly those they perceive as potential romantic rivals. They may try to linger in situations where you're interacting with others to subtly assert their presence. This could include casual remarks like, "You spend a lot of time with Name, don't you?" or mild discomfort when you receive attention from others. Their tone or demeanor might shift when someone flirts with you or when you mention spending time with someone else. They may jump to your defense in discussions or situations, even when it's not entirely necessary, showcasing their protective instincts. Jealousy, at its core, is tied to feelings of vulnerability and fear of loss, which can be amplified when someone is romantically interested in you. Psychology offers several insights into why jealousy arises in such scenarios. Jealousy often stems from an underlying fear of being replaced or rejected by someone they admire. Crushes amplify emotions, making people more sensitive to external influences that might disrupt their connection with you. From an evolutionary perspective, jealousy is a survival mechanism that ensures attention and resources are directed towards strengthening a bond with a potential mate. Jealous behavior may not always be deliberate. Often, people aren't even aware of how their protective instincts come across in their actions. Let's look at some specific scenarios that might highlight these feelings. When someone sees you struggling, they may offer help even if you haven't asked, aiming to demonstrate their reliability. They may unconsciously pay closer attention to how others interact with you, stepping in if they feel you're uncomfortable or overlooked. A crush might dismiss or downplay the qualities of others who show romantic interest in you. For instance, "I don't really see what's so great about Name." This could include walking you to your car, ensuring you're safe after an event, or subtly positioning themselves closer to you in group settings. Sometimes, they may try to outshine others by being extra charming, helpful, or attentive when they sense competition. While protective behavior can stem from genuine care, jealousy often has distinct undertones. Here's how to differentiate between the two. Protective behavior typically arises out of concern, while jealousy is triggered by competition or perceived threats. Jealous actions tend to occur consistently when certain individuals or situations are involved. Jealousy may feel more emotionally charged, while protective gestures are calmer and more thoughtful. It's worth noting that the way jealousy and protectiveness manifest can vary across cultures. In some societies, overt protectiveness is a sign of affection, while in others, it may be considered inappropriate or excessive. Recognizing these differences can provide deeper insight into someone's behavior.